Hello, Facebook. This is Jacob, your friend. I am beginning day 1 of the 10 vlog challenge. This is a challenge that was created by Brian Rose. I am attending his London Real Business Accelerator program. And this program is all about launching an official online business, which is something I've wanted to do for quite some time. And I am sensing the call to finally make this happen. I want to thank everyone who supported me in my efforts to attend another business program earlier this year that I have so much respect for and so much love for, the Earth Angels program led by Samantha Fay. I love you, Samantha. And unfortunately, I was not able to attend more than a few months of that program. I don't think the timing was quite right for me. I needed to learn a little bit more about my own situation, my own gifts, what I bring to the table. And 2018 has been full of so much healing. I feel that it is finally now time for me to step forward and begin offering guidance to others who are lost. I was diagnosed with what in the West we call schizophrenia. I was told that I had paranoid schizophrenia, which is a type of schizophrenia. And I have spent years debating the veracity of this title, wondering if there is truth in this title. I have finally come to the conclusion that this condition that we label schizophrenia is far more vast than we are able to even begin to envision. It is an actual opening into worlds. This is a bit of an indigenous perspective. In a number of traditional societies, people understand that when you begin hearing voices, for instance, or when you begin becoming obsessed with metaphysical topics, which is something that took place in my case, and it appeared to be an unhealthy obsession. It actually was in many ways. But this is actually a type of initiation. This is a type of spiritual initiation, and we need to begin to view it in more of this fashion. We need to understand that the people who are apparently crazy are actually opening up to a new version of themselves, an upgraded version, a more, you might even say, shamanistic version of themselves. Not to say that I'm a shaman or that they are shamans necessarily, but simply to kind of invoke this idea of beginning to explore other worlds. Because there are other worlds, and I think part of the reason our society is so sick is that we have been steeped in this materialism for so many centuries now. It is beginning to take its toll on our culture, on the very fabric of our society, you know, morally and environmentally, and in so many different ways. And so spiritually, certainly, is one of the biggest ways. So here's what I'm doing. Here's my vision. This is my big whammy, like this would make my entire life. If I could change the word schizophrenia in our culture to the word sacredphrenia. In other words, if I could start a movement where people began using a different terminology around this condition, I think that it could make some waves. I think that it could make an impact in the way that our culture operates, and that would make me very happy. That is what I'm going to try to do. It may sound a little bit grandiose, but I think it's good to have a big dream. And that is one of my big dreams. It's not the only one, but it is one of the big ones. It's one I've resisted for a long time. and it keeps coming up. It just keeps coming up. You know, I try to, there have been points where I've tried to deny that this is my story, that this is what has really happened to me. But it is, at the end of the day, this is the truth. And how can you hide from the truth? You know, I can't do that. So as stigmatized as this issue may be, as terrifying as this may be, there are so many parts of my psyche, of my subconscious, of my delicate ego telling me not to do this, telling me to run the fuck away from this topic. But I will not. There are so many people in agony beyond understanding. I cannot convey to you the sheer agony that this condition elicits, but it is also a blessing to go through such agony. It is one of the reasons I consider this, as I mentioned earlier, a type of shamanic illness, because it is an initiation in a sense. A true shamanic initiation is something that is incredibly painful and incredibly dissociative and incredibly splitting in a sense, incredibly demolishing. It is something that destroys you. It cuts you in half. It cuts you into tiny pieces. And when you are able to reassemble yourself, if you are to be a true healer, then you only choose the best offerings that society has. You only choose the finest foods and the best wisdom. This is, I hope, what I have been doing over the last decade, essentially, 8 years especially, but I have been delving deep into holistic health, because that is where the magic lies these days. I don't know if you have heard, if you have learned, but you can heal yourself. I don't care what condition you have. You can basically become your own healer. You can dive into nutrition and detoxification and trauma release and Jungian psychology and spiritual clearing and all of these things, these tools. This is what we should be doing as a society. Instead of gathering around the TV every night and watching mind-numbing entertainment, we should be delving into these practices because they are rich. They are far more gratifying than anything you could find on you know, the TV, unless you were watching, like, you know, some really esoteric like YouTube channel about you know, how to heal yourself. This is my work. I am stepping forward now. I am mainly going to be working with those who suffer from severe, as we say, mental illness. You can call it spiritual illness. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I'm no longer so hung up on that, although I don't like the word schizophrenia. I think it's a terrible word. I think it's an evil word. It's an ugly word. You say it and you just feel like the low vibration. You just feel it's just not the right word. We need a new word. That's why I picked Sacredphrenia. So this is a little bit of me just opening up. That's what these vlogs are for. I'm going to be doing 10 of these. They're not necessarily all going to be public. Only a handful of them have to be public. Mainly, this is for exploring my own market opportunities, you might say. You know, the intersection between my passions and my talents, where I have knowledge that might actually be able to serve you know, a significant number of people. And so if you have any feedback for me, please leave it in the comment section below. I thank you for watching. I am just in deep, deep gratitude mode. I mean, here I am out in nature. It is a beautiful summer day and I am whole. I mean, of course I have more healing to do. Of course we all do. Of course I still get kind of nervous at times and I still get kind of freaked out about things, but I don't live in a world where I am disabled and tormented and held back. I have come into this new place, and so it's time for me to begin sharing this stuff. Thank you for watching. I love you. I love you. It feels so good to say it. And bless you. May God be with you. Okay, that is it for today.